So this is take 3 of the Crystal Ball Series 2023.
We'll spare you the misery of the other two versions.
Someday we're gonna do blooper reels, of like all the stuff. Like I have like this list of videos in my hard drive, and I finally
Yeah.
purged a lot of them.
Yeah.
But the amount of swearing and stuff caught on camera, I thought it'd be funny to like do like a blooper video someday of all
Yeah.
the times I messed up and then had to restart my webcast or restart my explainer videos. So if you've ever been to our YouTube channel, we have a ton of videos out there, and there's just moments where we like mess up. Or last time the Zencaster people said that, oh, my internet was too slow. I'm like, guys, I have 100 fiber to the curb.
Up and down. Yep.
So
Yeah.
I had no problems with anything else other than my audio suddenly stopped recording
Yeah.
mid podcast. And then like it kicked me out and I couldn't do anything. And like, oh, it must have been something on your end. I'm like, I guarantee you it wasn't.
Yeah. That's the typical telco response. Yeah. I
I think
cleaned
it's
up.
always fun in IT. Like like I don't play my tech card very often anymore because I'm more of a business person now. But every once in a while, somebody tries to mansplain to me like networking or
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, listen, son. Here, let me explain this very carefully to
Yeah.
you.
Let's open up the packet capture. I'll dissect this for you.
I get that you're usually dealing with some generic end user, but let's talk this through. And so like when my internet went down like a couple weeks ago, I was so mad because my building owner had cut my fiber with scissors
Yep.
because they
Snip,
wanted
snip.
to put in some alarms. And I went down, I'm starting to troubleshoot this stuff. Like I'm trying to figure out, okay, where's this at? Where's this at? And
Yeah.
they put a work order and I'll just change out all the fiber today. Like, no, I had a private line. You cannot cut my fiber.
Yeah.
And so I finally went out to the DMARC and found out what was going on. These two techs are just doing their job, filling a work order.
Yeah.
And so I
That's
sent
what
a
they were told to
really
do.
nasty email to the building owner. And he comes marching up and goes, "You were stirring up trouble downstairs, digging around the closet." I'm like, "Sir, I'm a network engineer."
That's my
And you
home.
killed my internet. I was troubleshooting. Also, you see him get quiet.
Yeah.
Like you cannot cut fiber that is not yours.
Yep.
Because
Little
if you had
things like
done this
that.
like 20 minutes, so like if you had done this 20 minutes later, you'd be talking to my attorney, not me, because I had some big things like big meetings coming up.
Yeah.
So like it was just funny, like the narration completely changed. Like,
Respected it.
and I that happens every once in a while in IT. Like when somebody suddenly figures out if you downplay your geek card, every once in a while, some tech support person, especially in tech support,
Yeah.
they're used to dealing with the general public. And then, but it's always fun in real life when somebody's trying to explain something and you're like, actually, because my big debate on like the internet forums right now is Wi-Fi part of your internet?
Well, yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of people out there mad at their customers because their customers keep calling Wi-Fi internet. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
is. If it's got an uplink to a backbone
Yeah,
somewhere,
however it's connected, whether it's yeah,
and unless it's a private Wi-Fi network
yeah,
and a closed system, it is the internet.
yeah,
And it's like they're being all hoity-toity about this, and it's like you're wrong. It is the internet. Your customer is right,
yeah.
and they try to explain to me like, listen.
It's connected. Hey, whether it's wireless, copper, fiber, or carrier pigeon, and you can do that. There's an RFP on that. So it's on the network. It's
Do
on the
you
net.
have a route to another computer that is not yours?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, carrier pigeon. I love the carrier pigeon RFP.
Yeah, that one's hilarious. There's an Easter egg in one of our community updates. It was one of them that you weren't on, and I had to go back and do the YouTube posting on it. And of course, me, if it was like the first time I'd been into that tool, and I'm like, what does this button do? And what does this button do? And I just went nuts with it. And so I found a place to put a little Easter egg in on one of our community updates about RFP. Which one was that? No. There's I forget what the number is on it, but there's a posting out there about TCP over carrier pigeon.
Yeah. I need to go through and clean up some of the older like 2020 community updates. There's still just, if you see like in our community update feed, you'll see like update 26, update 27. And those are because they came from 2020 or 2019. We've been doing community updates for a while, people.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they're
so
really hilarious. Trolling through the videos and cleaning things up. I have my share of them. There was really one of the hilarious ones was I'm just rocking along, and then at the very end, I messed something up, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me! 6 minutes, and I couldn't close it." And anyway, of course, then the video abruptly ends as I stop. But to see the change in our audio video setups and in my weight. And anyway, it's been
yeah.
cool to go back and look at some of those old stuff and, see where we came from. And it's cool. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily have pegged this particular location and, where things are, 2 or 3 years ago. So this has been an exciting journey.
Yeah, and that's kind of what brings us into the crystal ball episodes. A long lead in there is like you look back at where you've been to kind of help you figure out where you are and where you're going. And
Yeah.
you can get really what's the word, pedantic there, and wistful. But really, if you're focusing on just your company, you can say, okay, here's the journey so far, and here's the journey coming up based upon where we've been. That keeps you inside your box and it keeps you grounded. If you want to change the narrative, or if you want to adapt to what's going on in the economy, you have to start by looking like what's coming up this coming year and how do I align my company with that.
Yeah.
So if you just look back, and this is a problem within I think MSPs everywhere, is that we get so focused on operations. Like, I sold 1,000 PCs last year. I want to sell 1,100 this year. Well, is that really a good goal given the recession? And so you think, oh, I'm just going to add 7% to that. So 1,000, I'm going to do 1,070 this year. And that way I've got a growth projection.
Mm-hmm.
And you're being smart about it. And you're looking, okay, over the past 4 years, I have grown on my PC sales by this much. I'm going to go this much next year. Is that really a good goal given the recession? Should you be focused maybe on more on services next year? And, if I had to pull out my crystal ball like we do every year and look down and say, what's 2023 going to be? I'm thinking services, because you're
Absolutely.
not going to be able to buy equipment. Equipment prices are going to go up, even if they're available. So supply chain's still a little wonky. We're going to be figuring it out. But with the cost of goods increasing, is this the best year to buy assets? Should you be pushing that to 2024 when assets are going to be more reasonably priced, and then this year sell services to help your clients get through? So you can, by selling services to your client, you can help them save money on assets. And if you want to know more about that, just ask us and we'll show you in one of our demos. But you can see that they can save money and you're going to make more money. And you can pitch that in context of the recession. Save money, increase services. Everybody wins.
It is. And I think those are the really important elements that you need to think about when you're doing, your business crystal balling, and you're looking out there. And we start out with, hey, what do I need to do? I have a business, obviously you want to keep the business afloat, but even beyond that, you want it to be successful. You want it to make money. And so we look for those opportunities. And I guess sometimes it gets a little bit easy to be selfish in that, or just, focused on, looking inward, but you need to be looking at your client's perspective. What can I do that's going to help my customers be successful? And when you do that, then you're going to be able to generate the revenue that you need. Because if your customers don't have any money, if their businesses are failing, then that's not going to help your business. They're going to be late on their payments, or they're going to be cutting back or canceling services. So finding ways that save your customers money doesn't necessarily mean cutting your costs. Sometimes it's shifting those costs. And when we can shift them to higher margin services for us, then we make more money in the higher margins, and our clients save money in their expenditures. We all win. So as you forecast, as you try that crystal balling, which I am awful at, but as you try that, make sure you aren't just thinking about yourself. Be a little bit more inclusive of your forecasts.
Yeah, that's the appropriate crystal ball we're looking at here. Like, if you focused on internal revenue and say, here's where we've been, and you do the very analytical, operationally mature thing, and you do the math on your existing operations, you might miss out on great opportunities. You got to look at both. And so, if you've never done like a Porter's Five Forces analysis, we've talked about this before, and I am a big fan of Porter's Five Forces analysis. Google it. It's a way to analyze your business and see external threats, external forces on your company, and helping you see a bigger picture using kind of a formula. And it's really useful, and you should spend sometimes kind of like creating a one pager for your business. And you want to see like what's going on in the context of 2023. Where are we going to be? Where are we going to be in 2024? So you have like election years. What happens in election years? What traditionally has happened in the past? We're in a recession right now, or we're moving into a recession. And what does that mean? How does this change your goals, and how does it change your clients' goals? They're all really apprehensive. So, like, we as a software company always expect before a recession that we're going to have a number of members drop services as they clench their budgets. And then once the recession starts flowing a little bit, people start buying in more to services. So we see an expansion in first, second quarter of people buying services because they can't buy assets. And so they're going to try to increase their profits that way. And that's one thing that our software does really well is it helps you sell and determine, do you need an asset today? Do you need hardware, or do you need services today? And as a multi-service provider, you need to
Yeah.
focus on services.
Yeah.
And that's one of my gripes lately is the fact that MSPs have gotten so focused on selling hardware and software. And I had an aha moment just like a couple days ago. It's because software and hardware vendors are really good at the crystal ball. They're really good at forecasting.
Yeah.
They've got a plan. They know exactly how much software they need to push and sell at the end of this quarter and the next quarter. They know what hardware and software is coming out. They know they have a narrative they are following, and they convince MSPs to do their job for them. Like, hey, you need to be
Yeah.
selling this Lenovo, blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal I'm going to give you. You need to be getting your clients to sell these. Like, no, really, in reality, Lenovo should be selling to your clients directly. And then the client should be
Yeah.
paying you for services to maintain the equipment
Mhm.
and put it in the right place and image it and do all these other things. But we've gotten so used to being hardware and software vendors, retailers, that we've forgotten to be service providers.
Mhm.
And people complain like, why aren't people buying my solutions? Because all you're doing is you're a retail shop. You're walking in there and you've got a good solution. It is interesting. That new firewall will do some cool things, but the ROI just isn't there.
Yeah.
And so the client's not going
What
to buy
is the
that.
ROI? And that's the bigger deal. I mean, have you sat down and really understood with your clients what that is going to do for their organization? How is it going to help them out? And that's really the service part of it. I think if you really look back and kind of deeper and just kind of oversimplify things here, businesses don't hire you to reset passwords or change tapes. We don't do anymore, but for the backups.
There's plenty of tapes out there.
Yeah, I'm glad they're dying.
Awesome. I love LTO.
No, die tape,
I
man.
know. I will die with that in my hand. I
I
love
am
it.
all on that bandwagon. But anyway, what they're
You give me
looking.
an LTO drive, I will show you a safe network.
No. I'll show you a lighter. And so
That'll be we'll do a podcast on that. LTO versus online backup.
there we go. Your clients want someone to support their business, support the technology that supports their business. I mean, anybody can apply patches, and you need to do a good job. I don't want to dismiss that. I mean, being, proactive and providing a very valuable skill set in there is critical to what you're doing. But you've got to understand your clients aren't really looking for technical support. They're looking for business support. And yes, it's technically focused, but you've got to understand what they really need to get out of it. And many times they, I hate to say this because, it does affect our bottom line sometimes. They don't need the hardware. They need better, they need to use what they have. I mean, how many times do we see customers with these massive infrastructures that someone sold them? Somebody had a discount for the quarter, and they came in and loaded up all the racks with all kinds of great stuff, and then you get an engineer looking at it, and they're like, yeah, they're using about 10% of capacity, and all these other features haven't even been configured. Well, did they really need that hardware? Probably not. And rather than having your clients spend on that hardware, why not have them spend on services, something they will actually get some value out of? So, as Adam has mentioned, I think that is really going to be an important element in 2023, is making sure that your clients see and understand and then get the value that they need out of you and, jointly their technology.
Yeah, and I think that's what the 2023 should teach MSPs. I'm hoping. Like, so in the pandemic, it's kind of the easy button, right? We got shown a project that we need to take care of, that we
Yeah.
need to help people work from home. And that was easy. So now we had a directive, and it made us a little lazy because we didn't have to ask a question. We knew our clients wanted to work from home. So all we had to do was provide
Yeah.
a solution.
That was nice and simple.
So now we're coming into a recession, and I'm hoping that with that lesson from 2020, 2021 carries over to the recession. Like, hey, what is the economic driver this year? Okay, it's going to be inflated costs. How am I going to help my clients deal with that? I should look at finding ways to help my clients save money while increasing my profit margins. And the answer is services. You can help your client and make them happy by selling more services. And we've been using this narrative to show MSPs in our demo. So our demo is a little bit of a teaching tool, and we're showing people our software, but like, hey, here's the narratives you guys need to be pushing with your clients. So even if they don't use our tool and they don't use our framework, they walk away with this, oh, I should be thinking differently.
Yes.
I should be doing this differently. And that's our whole goal in Humanize IT, is to change the narrative. But thinking differently is what's going to make you profits this year.
Yeah.
If you keep going with what the software and hardware vendors are telling you and saying, we're going to push hardware and software this year and try to increase our sales by 7%. So let's say you increase your sales in hardwares by 10%. How much of that is margin?
How much? Yes. How much
Hardware and software margins suck, people. And I don't know why you all are so bitter about Microsoft going around you. You should be cheering. And no one, I've never in my entire technical career heard somebody say, I love working with Microsoft licensing. It's my best part of my day. It's so clear and easy. I just can't wait to do it every day over my cup of coffee. Yeah. You're insane if you're one of those people. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're broke. The idea is that you should be like, okay, anytime you don't have to resell a piece of software or hardware, you should be like, yay. You're giving up a little control and saying, hey, now I don't have to research all that licensing. Now I can focus on how is my client using those licenses and how are they benefiting their company. Like my wife the other day was just like, so she listened to the podcast. So hi. Keep your eyes on the road. But she said that, have you ever heard of Microsoft Bookings?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. And like, so this is a corporate person, very intelligent, who spends their life organizing meetings and meeting with patients. Mm-hmm. And to her, like, this is a brand new idea.
Oh yeah.
Bookings. There are 10,000 solutions in your head and 10,000 services you can be offering your clients that solve a problem they have.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know about them because you're so busy talking about licensing. And you're so busy talking about the latest Lenovo laptop they need to have.
That is it.
Oh, you need the yoga because it now does this and this and this and this. Like, you know what they really need to know? They need to know how to book their clients on their calendars. And you're assuming that they know how to do that. You're walking in there and assuming that your client knows all the solutions in your head, and you just need to get them to focus on the one that you want them. Why are you focusing on Lenovo laptops? Why are you focusing on Microsoft licensing? Why is that your number one priority? If you're a retailer, okay, sell in bulk, have fun. But if you're a MSP, if you're a even if you're a break fix shop, you should be focused on what kind of services can I provide my clients, and then you provide those.
Hmm.
Because there was one of the questions in the business groups the other day was how much should I charge for cables? I said charge cost. And, everyone's like talking about their multipliers for marking up cables and stuff. I know electricians do this. I know it intimately. Always buy your copper and then hand it to the electrician.
Yeah.
My pro tip for the day. If you need to have copper installed in your house, go to the local hardware store or go to like your favorite cabling provider, buy it and hand it to them. It'll
Yeah.
cost a third. And given the prices of copper, that's a lot of money. So, anyways, what you want to do is you charge cost for goods, and then you charge services on top of that.
Yes. Yes.
You charge for services. You are a service provider, not a retailer. Yes, you can eke out a little bit of profit by multiplying your cables, but guess what? How much more profit will you get when you tell your clients we charge cost?
Oh, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that $2 you make per like cable run really worth it? Or would you guys say, I charge cost and then make sure that your services are adequately aligned and charged appropriately?
Yeah. How many cables do you need to make? What's your profit margin on 100 cables compared to the profit margin on an hour's worth of engineering time?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy to do those, and I think that making money narrative or topic, for some reason, I think it gets it gets a bad rep or something. Like,
Mhm.
business owners shouldn't be talking about, or MSPs maybe, because that's who we talk to so much, shouldn't be talking with their customers, or it should be very secretive about them making more money. I find this so odd, and I run into it so many times that MSPs are almost ashamed, or that it's a state secret or something, that they need to keep this profitability discussions in the background. You can talk about it with other MSPs, but your customers should never get this idea that you're making money. It's
Now,
really,
yeah,
really weird, and it happens all the time.
you know why that happens? Because it's taboo to talk about budgets in personal conversations. And
Yeah,
so people model their business relationships off of personal
yeah,
conversations. I guarantee you sit in a bar or a networking group where you're changing out cards and you start talking about profits, you're going to have a circle around you
yeah,
of business owners.
yeah,
You start talking about budgets and actual numbers. Think about how many of you out there actually would kill to know what should my multiplier be on services to my cost of W2.
yeah.
Everybody wants the number. And there's a lot of companies out there that provide it. They're really good at it. And we avoid those conversations with our clients because
Yeah.
that's taboo in our personal lives. Among our clients, it's not taboo. It's expected to
Yes.
maturely talk about this. You know what? There's two narratives here. One, I walk into my client. He's a tightwad, just like me, right? And
No, I'm the
I
tight
go
one.
and I say, I'm going to charge you X dollars for these PC drops. And then he says, and he has no idea what my margins are. He's going to try and negotiate. He's going to try and negotiate me down and negotiate me down.
Just
And
because.
well,
Yeah.
it's part of the game, but some people
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
Or you walk in and because you walk in and say, I'm going to charge you cost for all parts. And so he's going to see that on his inventory and see like, this is how much it cost. And this is how much I'm charging you. And then you charge your billable rate. No one negotiates billable rates. That's considered taboo.
Yeah.
We
That's people's
always
time.
negotiate
Yeah.
cost of goods.
Uh-huh.
You are able to walk into a car dealership and negotiate for your car. It's expected. Unless you went to Saturn dealerships back in the day. But if you go into a barber, you don't say, hey, can you cut my care for $17 instead of 25?
Yeah.
You don't walk into your electrician and say, hey, can you charge me $75 instead of 89? You know, whatever the thing is, no one negotiates on labor because that's a person.
Uh-huh.
And so when you say
Yeah.
to your
People.
client, like, I am providing you a service, this is how much my service costs. And because I think I respect you as a business owner, I'm going to help you by charging you cost on my on my goods, cost of goods. And the beauty there is you create a relationship with that tightwad. He's not going to negotiate on your services. He's going to negotiate. He can't negotiate on your
Right.
goods
Yeah. Because it's
because
cost.
you're gonna, and you've already built in the margins into your service fees anyways, because you're not charging them extra for the cable. You're charging them that extra half hour it took to order the cable. You're charging handling. You're not charging them an extra 20% or 3x on a cable. You're charging them for how long it on average takes you to run a drop. The longer the drop, the more time it's going to take. So $100 a drop, $150 a drop, and they can't negotiate. That is a service. No one negotiates services, and that's why that works. So do yourself a favor this next year. Focus on delivering services. That's my crystal ball for you guys.
I agree.
Goods are going to
Yep.
suck this year. It's going to suck for everybody. It's going to suck for MSPs. It's going to suck for your clients. Everybody's going to be like, I don't want to buy crap this year. I'll wait till 2024 unless it's an absolute need. So increase your services to cover your client's risk and say, hey, you know what? I know that hardware is going to be expensive this year. Let's try to get your hardware to go one more year, unless there's a really bad situation. And then we'll look at 2024 and save you money on some of the good deals that are going to come out in 2024 post recession, and or reevaluate and see if the recession is still going. And so you can kind of see what you're doing, but you're going to make more money delivering services anyways. Stop listening to your software and hardware vendors. Start listening to your people. Start listening to your clients and deliver things that they're going to make their company run better, and it's going to improve them. Talk to
Yep.
them about Microsoft Bookings, how you're going to teach their staff how to use Microsoft Bookings to get things on their calendars. That's
Well,
a service.
that
They're already
more than
like,
anything, yes, more than anything, start listening to your customers, and not necessarily their wants, because I think they get in this mode they need to tell you the wants they think they need, but really understand what it is your clients truly need. Listen to your customers.
yeah, awesome. So, one, happy New Year to everybody. This comes out our first podcast of 2023. I
Woohoo!
hope this helps everyone kind of get a grounding for what does 2023 look like. Where should you be going? And there's a lot more to this. It's a lot more complicated. Get a business advisor if you need to. Get somebody to help bounce ideas, but focus on services this year. My bet is no one's going to want to buy hardware this year. Hardware is going to suck this year. Let's focus on 2024 being our hardware year if you need that. But 2023, focus on services and you will do really well.
There you go.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. And I'm excited for 2023.
See you later.